sitting down with Mollie O'Callaghan, world champion, newly crowned from Budapest, joining us from Spain, where Team Australia is at training camp ahead of the Commonwealth Games. First of all, just coming off of the trials that you had, Mollie, what did you have expectations heading into these world champs in Budapest?
Yeah, so coming off trials, I didn't really expect doing that well. And I think also I put a lot of pressure on myself to perform at this Worlds. Leading up to, I guess, Worlds was a bit of a rough time. It had a lot of ups and downs. But yeah, it was, the outcome, I guess, was just worth it, and it was amazing. Yeah.
If you don't mind me asking, what did those ups and downs look like? What made it such a tumultuous journey in the lead up to Budapest?
Yeah, so last year I wasn't an individual swimmer. I just had the relay heats. So I had a little bit of experience handling some of the pressure from that, but this was just something else. Coming off trials, I had a very, very big program, so I got a little bit, I guess, like a little bit tired from that. But I also, I got my flu shot and my COVID booster at the same time, so I was a bit wrecked from that. And then we had a little bit of time at home. We left for Europe, and that was obviously a big journey. And just from there, just like, I guess also the pressure of like going in like ranked high, and also the pressure from trials and stuff. I was just mentally and physically a bit everywhere pre-Worlds.
Yeah, certainly. Especially with the program you had at trials, I'm guessing that that's why you decided to drop the 100 and 200 back, because heading into world champs, you had 4 individual events potentially, right?
Yeah, so I had I qualified for the backstroke 50, 100, 200 back, and the 100, 200 free. And we Dean and I made the decision just to focus on the 100 and 200 free, as it would just be too much of a big program, and also getting called up to do relays also. So I think it's also my inexperience that made that choice also, because I haven't really swam at a senior individual, at a senior international meet, especially with individuals. So we just decided to do that and see how I go.
Yeah. Is backstroke something you focus on a lot in training, or is it something you think you will continue to pursue individually on an international level?
So backstroke for me is it's a bit everywhere. I do enjoy doing it, but also it's become like a second focus to me. In training, I'll do probably maybe 40% maybe backstrokes, the rest free. But it really depends on how I feel during the session and what the main focus of the session is. Especially for meets also, it just comes second. So where my freestyle events are sitting, we pick what backstroke I'll do. And especially the 200 backstroke is definitely not my thing. I do not like it one bit, but Dean just makes me do it. And yeah.
Just makes me do it, and then I get second at our trials.
Yeah. It's not nice. Fun for me. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, very, very casual. So heading into Budapest, you had this pared down schedule where you're only swimming 2 individuals, but you swam at least 6 events, because you got 6 medals, which is pretty wild. Just on that first day, the 400 free relay, which, the Australia women seem to have down to a formula at this point. What was it like being on that finals relay this time and getting to be a part of that world champion team?
Yeah, so this time it was a lot more crazy because I didn't get to do the heats. So I was a little bit scared going up for the finals, because I'm like, I don't know what I'll be able to do, especially off trials and stuff. But I think at the end of the day, it's just about having fun with the girls, and just knowing that we can all do it, especially in the marshalling room. Like, we're all pretty chill in there. We always have fun. But yeah, this meet, like, just everything was just a lot different. But doing that 4x1 this time was pretty cool, because last time I was a bit upset with last year, because I like missing out, I guess, made me more driven to make individuals and, like, I guess, improve this year.
Yeah. So on that note, you had 2 individuals, 100 free, 200 free. You won the 100 free. You were silver in the 200 free. What was it like? You started with the 200 free. Do you feel like you kind of got the nerves out a little bit, or just got your footing in terms of competing in those individuals, especially prelims, semis, finals, with that 200 free?
Yeah, so I haven't really done semis before, only junior worlds. So doing the 200 free did get my nerves out a little bit. The 200 free, I'm still really learning, like, how I can swim it and what I can do. And Dean and I have talked, and it's just mainly about experience for me at the moment. It's not so much times for these meets. It's just what I can do, what I can improve on, and just finding all the little things that work for me and that don't work. So in a way, for the 200 free, I just had to kind of trust myself in Dean's race plan and execute it. But I was a little bit disappointed that I couldn't really get much closer to my PB. But oh well, yeah.
In that 200 free final, are there things that you felt like you did well in that race, and things where you felt like you could have improved in that race?
Yeah, definitely. I really need to just focus, like, on maybe fixing my back front end, and definitely, like, I do mainly focus on my back end a lot. But yeah, I think there's a lot of things that I do need to improve on, and things that I did in that race that I haven't really usually do that wasn't as good. So, like, my underwaters, I've just tried to improve that a little bit more. But yeah.
So then heading into the individual 100 freestyle, did you feel a little more confident and comfortable just moving through the individual event process?
So I feel like the 100 is a lot different. I was actually really, really nervous before the 100 free final. The semi, not so much, because it was just about getting in, and just trying to get into the final. And I think the final, knowing that I'm in first, was just very different. And, like, I was scared so much. Like, I had a little bit of a cry in the warm up. I wasn't feeling the best, like, just in general. My legs started to cramp a little in the warm up, and then I started to panic even more. So it was like a lot of that. But I did have a lot of support from, like, Dean, obviously the support staff. And then I also had Maddie Wilson walk me to marshalling, because I didn't really have anyone with me. So it was very nice of her to do that.
That is very nice for her to do that. So then, with all that, with all these, this nervous energy that you've got going on, how do you still go out and execute your race plan and go 52.6 and top the likes of, Sarah Sjostrom, Tori Husk, Penny Alexiak?
Yeah, so I just still find it a little bit crazy. So I kind of just get into marshalling, kind of get in my zone. But normally I would have someone there, and, like, I'll just chat random stuff about. But this time it was a little bit different. Everyone was quite intense. But I just kind of got set in my zone, and, like, walking out, I was quite serious. A lot of the girls was like, you're a mess before your race, and then you walk out to, like, the blocks and just had no expression, no nothing. And I guess before I just had to try and, like, believe in myself a little bit more and trust in my race plan, because it's a little bit different to the other girls. The other girls are very good at their front end, not so much myself. So I guess just believing that I can perform and just work what I'm best at. That's all I could do. Even if I just didn't place or anything or get last, I think I would have just been proud that I got to swim the final.
Yeah. So Australia has, at this point, a very established culture of this event, right? Of this 100 freestyle. I'm just curious, in your career, you know, in your short or long, however you want to look at it, swimming career so far, when did it become a goal of yours to go 52 in the 100-meter freestyle? Because, you know, that's something that Australia has mastered at this point. I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, so like I was a backstroker first, so I was never expecting to become a freestyler. Only 2019 Junior Worlds, I made the 100 free with the backstroke. So that kind of came into the picture a little bit more. But like ended, I would say 2020, going into 2021, like wanting to swim faster in the 100 free and kind of make that one of my focus kind of came in, I guess, last year really, after Olympics. I definitely became more driven after that experience and kind of wanted to do a bit more and improve a lot and just kind of show what I can do. Still got a long way to go, but I guess like having the depth in the 100 free definitely helps. All the girls support each other. We always have like the event camps and stuff, so you get to see how the other girls train, and definitely just like the culture within the team is just amazing.
In a similar vein, you know, you said freestyle was not your first forte, but you came onto our radar in a big way last year when you swam the prelims of the 4x2 in Tokyo and broke a world junior record, 155.1. What was your previous best time before that? Do you remember?
I think I was like 156. I wasn't, well, I didn't, well, I qualified on the team like 5th or 6th for the Olympic team. So I don't really expect to get that spot anyway. But beforehand, I was either 156 to something. I don't know exactly. But 200 free only really like started to like become also a focus for me. 2021 into 2020. I was when I came to Dean, I was a 205 star, so 2019. So it's been a big improvement since then, and Dean's kind of just forced me to like it. I was never keen on it because it's such a hard race, and just to like, even with the race plan too, it's just very hard to understand and perform it.
Can you explain that to me a little more? I mean, specifically for you, what makes it hard to understand and perform?
Yeah, so I definitely think it's like kind of in between, you know, like the sprint and like distance, and it's kind of an awkward distance, and it's something that you've got to learn over time, and you just got to find what works for you. Like it took me a while. I'm still learning, but it took me a while to find what I'm best at in it. Like, because I used to just dive in, go max for the first 100 and then just complete. And I think that's another reason why I didn't like it that much. But yeah, it's just such an awkward race, and then you have to have like a lot of strategy behind it to perform well.
Absolutely, yeah. So you mentioned Dean, and I have to ask about just training with him and what that experience has been like for you. How long have you trained with Dean?
So I moved to Dean in 2019 when I was 14 turning 15. So I was quite young. I've only been with him for, is it like 3 years or something? I don't even know. But with Dean, I've definitely become more comfortable, and he's definitely focused on a lot of what I'm good at, what I can improve on. He's a very, very focused coach. Even though he can be a bit crazy from time to time, but that was very exciting training with him. But he also is very caring and stuff. He always makes sure that we're like all right mentally and physically a lot of the time, and he always makes sure to check in and make sure that we're okay. But yeah, he's an amazing coach, and like just since being with him, it's like been a great journey, especially with my teammates. They've all done so well, and I think just the whole St. Peter's culture definitely drives us to do a lot better and perform well. And yeah,
I was just talking to another one of your teammates, Elijah Whittington, and he said that one thing that he's really gained from Dean and from being at St. Peter's is just the mental fortitude, right? His mental game has really stepped up from after being around Dean. So I'm going to ask you a similar question of just how do you feel like Dean does that? How do you feel like he builds up your mental game?
Yes, Dean definitely builds up like a lot of our mental game. It's just the energy that he brings majority of the time, and I think he puts a lot of trust on us, and he knows that we can perform at our best because he's been there 24/7. He's always at the pool. He's very, very, very dedicated. And I think his attitude towards swimming is something that helps us all improve, because he believes in us, trusts us, and he can also have a very good time with us, like just having a laugh and stuff. So he can switch on and off. And yeah, he's just an amazing coach, I would say. Very focused, very determined. But yeah, he's something else.
I have no problem believing that. So who are your training partners on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, so quite a few of our members are in the squad. So we have Abby Harkin, Ella Ramsey, Kia Melverton, Ariane Titmus, Elijah Whittington, and then like there's a whole list of other people in the squad. So like I can name them all, but like there's like a lot of them are very, very, very good swimmers, and they're just great teammates in general. But like, yeah.
So you have
sorry. I've completely forgot.
Two men. Who is that?
Jenna Forrester.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. 400 I am very lovely.
Okay, nice. So you have a stout training group. I'm kind of curious just about the kinds of sets that Dean has you doing. I mean, do you have a favorite set that you've done with him, or one that stands out to you as being particularly challenging, or one that you did really well on any given day?
Look, I don't really remember majority of the sets. They always change a lot. We do like kind of three-week blocks of like kind of similar sets, and they just progress each week. But yeah, like majority of Dean's sets are very, very intense and very hard, especially very focused on backhand speed. That's kind of where like I've improved a lot, is with the backhand speed. But like each day kind of changes, each week is very different. But yeah, I don't think there's really any set that stands out to me, because they're all, I guess, helped in a way. And they're all very hard. They're enjoyable hard, but you know, I really don't know what to say.
Is it a lot of just, I don't know if it's the same terminology, but is it a lot of like threshold of like holding the fastest you can go? Is it a lot of race pace where you're trying to hit like the times you want to hit in a race, or is it just all of that combined?
Oh, Dean adds anything and everything. Like it's a combination of all. That's his sets. It's just like each day might focus on one thing, but it's a variety of like everything. and each day varies, and like we got 3 different like kind of squad things, so there's a sprint, middle and distance, so there's always a set tailored to everyone, which is very, very good.
Nice. So are you training by yourself some days, or you have people you're doing the set with, but it's kind of more specifically for you?
Yeah, so I mainly stick in the middle distance group. So Arnie and Elijah drifts between distance and middle distance, but yeah, so we'll have a group for each thing. Like Shayna mainly sticks with sprint. So sometimes we'll all join together and sometimes we'll split apart. So normally we'll have our assistant coach helping with one of the other sets and Dean will focus on the other, and it always flips and changes, which is very, very good.
It seems like a nice balance of
Yeah.
just getting new eyes, seeing new coaches.
Yeah.
Nice. St. Peter sounds like the place to be, man. So now, coming off this world, has it set in that you came off this world championships, you won 3 golds and 3 silvers. If you were paying really close attention, you were tied for the highest score in SwimSwam's fantasy draft. So you were a co-MVP. I know that's a pretty meaningful title, but has the meet that you had settled in for you?
No, not really. Like, I still feel, I guess, like I'm very happy with like my outcome and all that, but at the same time, like I'm still a little bit frustrated with how like I swam, but I'm also very like excited for what's to come next. Sorry, I can't really talk much, but yeah, so it hasn't really settled in for me. Some moments I'm like, wow, like that's pretty cool, but a lot of times I also think I'm like, well, Arnie wasn't racing it, Emma wasn't racing it, a lot of the others weren't racing it. So at the same time, I'm like, oh, it would have been different if Emma or one of the other top athletes were there. So it's a bit of like I'm a bit tough on myself, but I'm very proud with my outcome, and yeah.
And so then moving forward into this Commonwealth Games, will you have a similar event lineup? Are you going to add in some of the backstrokes or just stick to the 100, 200 free?
So definitely the 100, 200 free so far. Not sure about the 50, 100 backstroke, but the 200 stroke is completely out. That's the and Dean. So yeah, we just kind of cut it off. We're like, as soon as trials finish, no, we're not doing the 200 back. That's a big no. But Dean and I haven't really spoken yet about what I'm going to do, but I'm kind of just hopping back into the water after being a little bit sick and just trying to get back into backstroke. So hopefully maybe a 50 or 100 backstroke or both, but definitely the 100, 200 free. Yeah.
Gotcha. And then I should know this, but are there mixed relays at Commonwealth Games?
I think mixed medley. Don't think there's a mixed freestyle. Honestly, I really don't know myself. That's pretty bad. But yeah, definitely probably a mixed medley. Yeah.
And so again, I asked Elijah this as well, but do your goals change heading into this meet, especially coming off of a world champs where you had so much success, but also it's like 5 or 6 weeks apart. It's, really tight turnaround. Do you have expectations for yourself heading into this meet?
Yeah, so I definitely do have expectations for myself, especially coming off worlds and doing those times. I would like to improve a little bit more on like the times that I did in worlds, but at the same time, I'm just like, I just want to enjoy it and just gain experience and just follow Dean's race plan, try something new, but definitely having like more of the Australian team members come along will be amazing. And I just think it's just a great experience in general to enjoy but yeah, I think definitely I'm going to be putting a lot of pressure on myself in the next few weeks to try and get back up to where like my standards, I guess. But yeah, like, because for the past week or so, coming off Worlds, I did get a little bit sick, and yeah, it's just kind of put a little bit more pressure on myself to try and lift up again and go for another time.
Yeah. So what has this double taper training camp looked like for you, especially with dealing with that post Worlds illness?
So last week I couldn't really swim that much, but this week is just trying to get back into it, probably more aerobic based. And then the next few weeks we'll kind of shift a little bit more. And then I guess on the last week before Com Games, we'll probably start our taper a little bit. But it's just trying to shove as much quality in a short amount of time and trying to perform at like high standards during your training sessions and keep the consistency. So it's a little bit hard, but it's got to be done. And it's just, yeah, a big learning experience for like a lot of us. And it's just preparing for the next Olympics. That's all we got to think about too, is just learning, I guess.
Mollie, I really appreciate you taking the time to sit down and chat. It's been great getting to talk to you for the last half an hour. So again, I appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you so much.